all your photo, video, and voiceover needs, check out the fine folks at Blueberry Productions. They will take good care of you. If you don't believe me, you can see for yourself. Check out their work at blueberryproductions.tv, the Facebook page, Blueberry Productions, also a Vimeo page, a YouTube page, and it's Blueberry, BLUBERRY, Prod on Twitter. Check them out today. Blueberry Productions, great people, great work, great service.
Hey there, your yard took a real beating this summer. Luckily, Scott's Turf Builder Winter Guard has your back. Just feed your grass with Scott's again this fall when the air is cool and the soil is warm. It's the perfect time to give your lawn a boost. If you do, Winter Guard will give your yard the nourishment it needs to help weak, thin grass recover and support root growth, giving you a greener, more resilient lawn both now and next spring. Guaranteed. Grab a bag of Scott's Turf Builder Winter Guard today. You'll be back to barbecuing in no time. This is a Scott's Yard.
Hey parents, we all try to be extra careful with our children in the car, but then we get an important call or text. Remember, our children are watching. Make every drive a good example. Be in the zone. Turn off your phone. Visit childrenshospital.vanderbilt.org/BITZ to learn more about our teen driver safety program. Brought to you by Monroe Carroll Jr. Children's Hospital at Vanderbilt, the Ford Motor Company Fund, and the Allstate Foundation.
Hello, my name is Travis Williams, President and CEO of Academics and Athletic Consulting, focusing on educating and empowering tomorrow's collegiate athletic leaders. My passion is for the education and genuine concern and care for today's student athlete. It's the centerpiece of my life's work. A college education, both in and out of the classroom, is a truly rewarding benefit. For more information on AAC, you can go to www.academicsandathleticsconsulting.com. Once again, www.academicsandathleticsconsulting.com. Or you can follow me on Facebook at Academics and Athletic Consulting, or Twitter at Coach TWill24, or Instagram Travis L. Williams 24. Or you can call me at 404-542-6079. Once again, AAC is very proud to partner with J.R. McHenry of the Bossman Radio Show, covering sports and entertainment across the country. Please tune in weekly for informative, entertaining, and expert analysis on today's sports and entertainment topics. Thank you.
Back here on Gerald the Bossman Show. We're here with Jason Hooten, the coach of the Sam Houston State Bearcats, here with me on the Bossman Show out of the Southland Conference. First out of practice, Coach Hooten, first of all, how was practice today, man? Did they get after it today for you?
Well, it was okay today. I actually, I think I may have cracked one of my ribs on Friday demonstrating a drill, and so I was having a hard time today raising my voice. So, you know, they say that the team usually practice about the way the coach's personality is, and mine's usually pretty aggressive and pretty intense. And today wasn't quite as intense because I just had a hard time raising my voice without my rib hurting pretty bad. So, but we've had some pretty good practices. I would say today was day 25, and if I had to, say whether it was a good or bad practice, I would say that right now we've probably had 22 out of 25 pretty good days.
Well, that's pretty good here with the games kicking off next week here, Coach. So I want to talk to you about the player development piece first with your coach. I noticed that the biggest thing for guys at mid-major level is developing their guys. You want to recruit guys that you can where they'll develop or blossom in that junior, senior, so you can be old at the right time to be good, to make some noise out there. Like you had 21 wins last year as well. So in that April, May, June, July, August, September, here in October, who are some guys you want to kind of point out who really developed a grill for you, got stronger mentally, physically, and emotionally, and just the whole plan of trying to develop your team individually and as a whole team as well?
Well, our philosophy is normally, we run a four-out ball screen motion. And so with our player development, we feel like the way we approach it is we try to get our guys better individually, and everything that we do fits into our scheme. So, if we're working on ball handling or footwork or shooting or whatever, that fits into our ball screen motion. Guys that can dribble, pass, and shoot, guys that, can shoot off of, any type of catch or off the bounce or, driving kicks or, those are all things that fit into our offense. So on a daily basis, we're working our skill. We're trying to get our guys better individually, and collectively we feel like at the same time it's fitting into our scheme of how we want to play. And I've got some really good coaches, a great staff. Just hired a young man that played at Oklahoma State named Phil Forte. He was a great player in the Big 12, and he's done a great job of helping our guys get better. He obviously was a tremendous shooter. Got another young man named Andre Owens who's been the head coach at Western Texas College. Just hired him. He was a really good player at UT San Antonio when they were in the Southland Conference, and he was a great all-conference player, and he's done a really good job of helping our guys get better as well. But I do think that's where it starts. It starts with that player development, as you said, those months of, March and April and May. When the season's over, we do a really good job, I think, of making our guys and helping our guys get better. And in essence, it's turned out to be really good for us, and we've had pretty good teams here.
And I feel like, Coach, with what you've established at Sam Houston State here, Coach, is that you can recruit 66 different types of players, whether it be a grad transfer, a transfer to sit for a while, a JUCO guy, you can get a prep guy as well if you want to, international guy, and a high school senior that you want to save a redshirt a year and see them get stronger and develop in that sophomore year, that junior year, but a senior in the classroom, but a junior on the court year. So you can, like I said, keep the balance of the classes as well, keep the program sustainable for years to come.
I think that's why we've had success. It's a really good point by you. Over the years, we've had a little bit of everything. This team last year that won a championship, we had 4 high school guys basically on that team, and 2 of those 4 had been here 5 years. And, we had redshirted those guys. They had continued to get stronger and get better. We took a 4-year transfer on that team and sat him a year, so he was here 4 years. He had 3 to play. And then we took a transfer that we had recruited really, really hard out of high school, and we lost him to the Big West. He went to San Diego, and they had a coaching change, and then he was here. He sat a year and played 2, so he was here 3 years. So we had 2 guys here 5, 1 4, and 1 3. And I just think that, that chemistry those guys formed and, the culture that we've built here, it just says a lot. And, like this year, we took a couple of junior college guys, but we took a 4-year transfer from North Texas that got immediately eligible. And then we took a grad transfer from Elon. And so we got a great mixture again on this team. And, I'm excited about that. And I think that that's what we've done to be successful. And I hope that we can continue to have that same type of format.
And Coach Hooten, heading into year 10, leading the Bearcats, what do you feel like has been your greatest accomplishment since you took over this job in 2010?
I think our greatest accomplishment here in this time is just what we've sustained. I think the success that we sustained, it's hard to win. It's hard to have a championship year. But I think the thing I'm most proud of is that in 9 years, we've finished maybe once we've finished worse than 4th. We've been 4th or better every year. And, to me, making the conference tournament every year, graduating all of our guys, that team last year, 2 of those guys had already graduated and were working on a master's degree. So I think we've just built a program. We've built a culture. We've built something that is sustainable. And, year in and year out, I don't think we've been a one-hit wonder. I think it's something where every year we line up and we feel like that we're playing for a championship. And that's, to me, probably what I'm most proud of.
And I think people confuse Texas coaches for a football state. I know it's a big state for high school football, college football, and NFL, of course. But in my opinion, it's also a basketball state as well. But so many good programs in the state of Texas, in the Southland Conference, of course, as well. So how do you go about marketing yourself in the program, finding that niche within the state of Texas and beyond, of course, because you're a national brand, because Sam Houston State is known nationally. I have gals who talked about it when I said I'm having the show, people who talked to me about it. So, okay, I know about this university, which is good. Maybe they feel good about you and your program about that. But how do you go about finding that niche in Texas where it's big on football and finding guys who fit that program and that mold you want to have in the culture you've built there heading into year 10?
Well, I think that, you're helping that today by letting me be on the Bossman show. I mean, I think that's great recognition for our program, and I just think that what we've done is we've built a brand. You're right. I believe the Southland Conference is probably one of the most underrated conferences basketball-wise in the country. A great example is our young man from Elon. When he got here, he came in my office and he said, "Coach, I had no idea that your team would be this talented." And, Elon's a good league. That league is really good. There's a lot of great teams in that league over there. And so I think our league is more athletic than people think. I think it's better than the recognition that maybe it deserves. And, I think we just have to keep winning and, keep recruiting student athletes that can come here and continue our brand and help our league. And then once the conference is over, I think you have to go represent. Last year we went to the NIT, New Orleans beat us in the conference tournament, and we ended up going to the NIT, and, we were right neck and neck with TCU for 38 minutes of the game. And, I think that's showing, and, going and beating those kind of people and, going and playing well on that kind of stage is what gives our league recognition and what gives Sam Houston State recognition.
And, Coach, one of my missions with this show is to give guys like you a platform to talk to the young men here in Georgia, because when I was in college, played college sports, Coach, I went to school in Tennessee. I'm originally from Florida because I wanted to leave home so I could become a man and grow and feel some adversity if I had a mom and dad right in my backyard to get me out of trouble or get me out of a jam. So I'll try to give young men here in Georgia an idea that there's more to just Georgia Tech, Georgia, Kennesaw State, Georgia State, and Mercer. There's more, or Georgia Southern. There's more than those 6 schools in the state of Georgia that you can go anywhere in the country. If you play good basketball, get a good education, play for a good coach, and become a better person, come back to Georgia, a better man, a better husband, a better lawyer, a better doctor, whatever you choose to do. But you can leave here and still get accomplished with what you want to accomplish without being babied per se.
Well, another great point by you. There are a million good schools out there. Obviously, we feel, that we've got a great school and a great university here and a tremendous education. And, but you're right. There are. And sometimes getting away from home and, just looking inside that little small box is easy for people to do. It's hard to get away, and it's hard to look outside this box, so to speak. But, if you look at our roster, we've had a lot of success from the South, and right now currently we've got a couple guys from Alabama and Mississippi, and we've had guys from Georgia, and probably one of the better players I've ever coached was from the state of Georgia, and so there's a lot to be said for that, and just trying to get away and trying to find, the good program that fits you. It doesn't matter where it's at. It's about a fit. It's about a style of play. How do you want to play? What type of coach do you want to play for? What type of education do you want to get? And, I think all those things are important when you start to make a decision.
Yes, indeed. And, Coach, looking at your schedule, I see you have a high-major road game in Mississippi State, but a lot of quality mid-major matchups. So making your schedule, Coach, I'm pretty sure it's hard to get people to want to play you because you've been good for so long. I know guys probably like, we don't want to play y'all. You all too good. But I see that the schedule you have is going to set you all up to win that tough Southland play is coming up as well, and probably get some of your guys home a little bit so I can play in front of their friends and family as well.
No doubt. Scheduling. To be honest with you, scheduling is the hardest. It's the hardest thing to do here. It's really hard for us to get home games, and to get quality opponents to come here and play us in Johnson Coliseum. But, that preseason schedule gets you right. Last year it was a beast. We did a lot of traveling, and our record wasn't the greatest going into the league, but, we got on a roll and ended up winning 14 games in a row. And, and I contribute that to our preseason schedule. And this year won't be no different. I mean, going to Mississippi State, and, we got to go out and play San Francisco and Cal Bakersfield, and we got to go play Central Michigan, got to go play UT Rio Grande at their place. We've got a lot of tough games. We've got a hard road game or a home game here with a return game from Louisiana Tech, who's got a great team. So, there's a lot going on that schedule. And, and as you said, I mean, you use that schedule to prepare you for your league, which when it's all said and done, we try to tell our guys there's 3 seasons. There's a preseason, there's a conference season, and if you're lucky enough, there's a postseason. And that's what we always try to work hard for, and why we play such a tough preseason schedule.
Yes, indeed, because like you said, you can have the best year in the world and end up in the NIT, which is not a bad thing, but you want to really get to the big dance. And that conference tournament that you guys play is so crucial and key that the guys peak at that time right there. Because if you have a one misstep or one misplay, one lapse on defense or one misassignment, whatever, that can cost you a chance to go to where you really want to go. They're not just a good conversation prize, but you're going to make that big dance again, that big bracket there.
No doubt. I mean, last year, that happened to us. We had an unbelievable season, and with 2 weeks left in the season, we clinched the number 1 seed in the conference championship, which is unheard of. I mean, we still had 4 games left, and I don't know. You look back as a coach, and did we peak too soon, or what the case was. But, you got to give New Orleans a credit. We got in the tournament. They played a really good game. We had just played them 2 weeks prior and beat them at their place. And, and we, picked a night probably to give them credit, though. Their defense was great, but we picked a night where we missed a lot of shots that we've been making all year. And, they ended up beating us 79-76, and that was it. And, again, we ended up going to the NIT. But you're right. You got to be peaking at the right time. Your team's got to be tough. You got to be gritty. You got to be able to overcome adversity, and you got to get a little lucky. There's no doubt about that. You got to have some luck on your side as well.
You got that right, Coach. And last one I got for you is this. I like to ask Coach this question. Who are some guys in the business who really helped you out a lot, personally and professionally, to make you the coach you are today? Because I know in the business it's real close. I go sometimes to the Final Four and talk to coaches, or I can see them at the Peach Jam when they come to Atlanta, when that was big, before they changed the rules here. But, I know that you guys are real close. Even though you're competing against each other, y'all are real close as well. So who are some guys who really usually lean on and really has your back, really helped you in this business of coaching over the past few years as you've been in it so long?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of guys. I mean, my mentor, he's coached at Tarleton State. He's the athletic director there now, and he's stepped down as a coach, but he's got over, 700 wins, and, just a guy that I probably wouldn't be here today without him, and, just such a great basketball mind. And they're going Division I actually next year, and, he's the athletic director there now. And then, of course, Bob Marlin, who was the head coach here that's at Louisiana Lafayette now. He hired me here as an assistant in 2004 and left in 2010 for Lafayette when I got the head job here. And, and then just guys that I talk to daily. One of my best friends is the head coach at the University of Texas El Paso, Rodney Terry. Rodney and I are a guy that, we talk and bounce things off of. And, there's a lot of guys that are my friends that have been out there and have done great things in the business. Coach Barnes is a real good friend of mine, and, Buzz Williams at A&M, he and I kind of came up together, and, there's a lot of guys. And I think that as a coach, not talking and not listening to other people and trying to, I had a couple of high school coaches here 2 days ago. One of them's close to winning 1,000 games. He came to watch our practice, and, just sitting there and talking to him in a 15-minute stretch, there's no telling how much stuff I learned and picked up from a guy like that is just such a great coach and, has won so many games. So I don't know if it matters level. I mean, I think, there's a lot of great coaches on every level, Division III, Division II, junior college, high school coaches, prep school coaches, AAU coaches. I think it's smart for us in this business to lean on each other and to listen and to learn and, watch each other play and, watch games. Heck, I watch NBA and, college games every night, and pick up stuff, whether it be a play or, whether a guy's guarding a screen a certain way, or I just think that you just can't quit learning in this business.
You got there right, Coach Hooten. I'll tell you what, Coach, it's great to get you on the show finally, man. It's very enjoyable. We got to do it again real soon to talk some ball with you, and best luck to you in non-con and in the Southland Conference. We'll talk to you before that for sure, Coach. I enjoyed this. We got to do it again real soon.
No, hey, thank you for having me on, and I'd love to be on again.
All right, Coach. Have a good one now.
You too. Thank you. Take care.
All right, Justin Hooten on the Bossman Show, people.
Hip-hop fans, I got a great album for you. The debut album from Family Grind ENT, True Speech and 313 Fresh. We're going to give you 2 discs, 33 songs of pure, genuine hip-hop. Albums available on iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, illstreetrex.com, and streaming live right now on Rhapsody, Beats Music, Spotify, Xbox Music, Slacker Radio, and SoundCloud. Check them out today, True Speech and 313 Fresh, Family Grind ENT. Believe in it, get it.
A gorgeous tan from Suntan City gives you an inner glow that relights the fire when you run into your first crush.
Vicky, who was that?
An old boyfriend.
Lucky you just tanned at Suntan City.
Lucky he's single. We're doing lunch tomorrow.
Won't be single for long then.
During Tour of the City, try all 5 tans, including spray tan, for just $4.99. Restrictions may apply. Click to buy now.
Suntan City, let yourself shine.
When you're a teen, you finally get to make some of your own decisions. Who are you going to hang out with? What do you want to be? Are you going to glance at that text while driving? Remember, a split second is all it takes for something tragic to happen. Be in the zone. Turn off your phone. Visit childrenshospital.vanderbilt.org/BITZ to learn more about our teen driver safety program. Brought to you by Monroe Carroll Jr. Children's Hospital at Vanderbilt, the Ford Motor Company Fund, and the Allstate Foundation.
It's maybe the night that my dreams might let me know. All the stars are closer. All the stars are closer.
Tell me what you gonna do to me. Confrontation ain't nothing new to me. You could bring a bullet, bring a sword, bring a morgue, but you can't bring the truth to me.
Alexa, play Kendrick Lamar and SZA.
Okay.
Maybe the night that my dreams might let me know. All the stars are closer.
With Amazon Music, a voice is all you need. Get tens of millions of songs. Download the Amazon Music app today.
Yeah, it's your man JC, the host with the most, baby, and it goes down each and every Saturday night right here in the city of Memphis. That's right, y'all. It goes down at Clicks Sports Bar Memphis, baby. 3705 Malco Way, Memphis, Tennessee, 38125. Come out and join us, the Three Kings, each and every Saturday night for the livest karaoke in the city. Everybody gets in free till 10 p.m. Only $5 after. Great food. We got drink specials. We got all kind of games, man. We got the pool tables popping. Whatever you want, we got you, man. Come on out. Have a good time with us each and every Saturday night. That's Clicks Sports Bar, Memphis.